Today we're talking about the Super Bowl. Did you see the halftime show with Bad Bunny? Maybe the worst Bunny. I'm prejudging. It just happened a couple days ago and it's still blowing up the internet, as you know. Some people, well, they loved it, I guess. That's what I hear in the comments. Others, not so much. Whether you watch the full thing or not, I just saw, I had to go in. I didn't watch it during the Super Bowl. I was over there at that other, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. If you saw the clips, the reactions, it's worth breaking down what worked, what didn't, and why. It fits into a bigger pattern. You know what I'm talking about. We've seen with the brands trying to incorporate DEI. Now, that stands for two different things. We won't get into that right now. The fans of Bad Bunny, here's what they are saying. They say Bad Bunny put on, well, I guess a high energy performance, maybe. Lots of dynamic dancing around, some grinding, and, well, you know, you saw it, or I think you probably saw it. Colorful sets with sugarcane, fields in the Latin American countries, and they like the surprise of having surprise guests like appearances of Lady Gaga. And whether you like her or not, or Ricky Martin or Pedro Pascal, I don't even know who Pedro Pascal is, to be honest with you. But they say he was there. So it was visually impressive and felt like a real party vibe is what the people that enjoyed it said. Now, he made history as the first solo Latin artist to headline the Super Bowl halftime, which is a legit milestone, I guess, for representation of the Latino culture. They got a huge spotlight with this one, with the themes of pride, heritage, unity. I don't know, guys. We're going to ask you in the comments down below, tell me what you thought. We're going to keep going here. For some of the viewers, especially the Latino community, this was empowering and exciting, I hear. But, big but, here's where it gets tricky and why so many people felt off about it. The show was entirely in Spanish. No subtitles, no real bilingual elements to bridge the gap. For a huge chunk of the audience, you and me, traditional NFL fans, who I'm speaking of, English is their main freaking language. Right? Nothing against Spanish or French or any of the other languages, but Spanish is our main language. This means they couldn't even follow the lyrics or the full message. Did you understand it? I know I didn't. And I took like 6 years of Spanish. The Bowl is America's biggest sporting event, the Super Bowl. It really is the biggest event. Watched by families, friends, people from all backgrounds who tune in for football, not football, right? Now, the ads are always entertainment, right? Some people don't watch football, they just watch it for the ads. When the halftime feels like it's speaking to a completely different crowd, it can leave the core viewers, the guys like you and me, feeling sidelined. It's not about hating on the Spanish or Latino culture, not at all. Puerto Rico, it's part of the U.S. And diversity, what's great. But making it accessible to everyone would have gone maybe a long way towards a real inclusion that you're talking about. Now, anyways, I was trying to think of a Latin performer. Oh, Shakira or somebody who performed in a little bit Spanish and English. But anyway, Bad Bunny, he's been vocal about issues like immigration and the ICE. And I know ICE is a big controversy right now. And in the past, some of that energy has come through in the message of resistance and injustice. And it resonates as empowerment for some, but for others, it really felt like bringing politics into what, how do we say, it should be a unifying break from politics. Speaking of politics, President Trump called it one of the worst ever an affront to the greatness of America. Now, North America, right? Because they are coming from the Latin South America. But anyway, I digress. We should understand, and the dancing was over the top. A little bit of grinding. It wasn't just dancing. I didn't like that. Did you see the guy on guy dancing? I have no place for that on the Super Bowl. Plenty of conservative viewers and even some neutral fans echoed that calling it mismatched or low on broad appeal. Live reactions were split. The stadium crowd seemed into it probably for the energy of being at the stadium, being at the Super Bowl, just part of the experience. They couldn't tune into their TVs. They were at the stadium. But among everyday football watchers, there was real frustration in some said that the enunciation was hard to catch, even for Spanish speakers. Some of the Spanish speakers even said, hey, we can't understand this. And the overall vibe, prioritizing the global niche appeal over the classic American football, not the other football. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, look, Bad Bunny's talented, I guess. He's the most, they say, downloaded artist on the internet. Is that true? I don't even know. It's just what I've read. This isn't personal. But the NFL chose to go this route. You know, they had to make a decision. And they were betting on these global vibes of representation. Now, keeping things straightforward for their main audience, who normally watches the Super Bowl. And most of us didn't want to see all that dancing around in the Spanish. You know what I'm talking about. Just very few. Feel like other big missteps we've seen, this halftime show fits right into a pattern. You know the pattern of companies and organizations pushing hard on this DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, for a progressive message, only to face backlash from their core customers. You know what I'm talking about. Remember Bud Light? Take Bud Light in 2023. They partnered up with Dylan Mulvaney, am I saying it right, for a campaign that felt like it was more about activism than beer. Let's face it, those blue-collar drinkers, they just wanted their beer. They didn't want that Dalvin McVaney, whatever her name was, alienated, boycotts, hit hard, sales dropped 20 to 30%, and billions in values vanished overnight. DEI wasn't so great to them. They learned the hard way. Don't lecture your loyal drinkers. Just give them what they came for. Target, same year, 2023, Pride. They had this Pride collection, right, with tuck-friendly swimsuits. You remember that? Now, who needs the tuck? It was for the trans community. But many families saw it as pushing too far, too fast, especially since a lot of it was targeted towards kids. A whole nother conversation to be had there. So boycotts, threats, and $10 billion later of losses, that is, market cap. And they ended up pulling back the DEI efforts quietly, trying not to make a big deal out of it. Remember Cracker Barrel in 2025, just last year? They rebranded their logo and leaned into the DEI message, which critics called woke erasure of their traditional Southern roots. This is what people go to Cracker Barrel for, is their atmosphere, and they were trying to change it. Stocks dropped, about $100 million loss. Quickly, they reversed it fast and scrubbed some pages out of their changes, right? People want nostalgia and comfort food, not a lecture on their modern values. Remember this one? Disney? They've been dealing with this stuff for years. The whole diversity, characters, their themed movies be a good example, plus fights over the laws in Florida. Conservatives don't like it. They've called them out on it. Indoctrination, boycotts. And Disney had to make some more adjustments because some films flopped and they've had to adjust because the the way the families want their magic and stories of Disney. Let's see here. There's one more. Gillette. You remember Gillette 2019? They had their toxic masculinity and felt like it was attacking the men instead of celebrating them. Boycotts followed, sales dipped, and people buy razors to shave, not to be told how to act. Is it kind of getting clear to you now? The pattern's clear. When the brands choose or chase, chasing this DEI kind of woke mentality, the global progressives, at the expense of their main base, the market will push back. We've just seen it. Sales tank, stocks drop, the boycott spread. In the NFL, what do you think, guys? Risked the same thing here, didn't they? The Super Bowl, their core, hardworking, patriotic Americans who love football, tradition, and a halftime show that's entertaining and not full of messages and other countries' flags. This is American football. Remember that when we're talking about this. Hey, we don't need it to be a full-on cultural or political statement every year. All we want is some good, hard football, whether you're rooting for the American side, the American League, or the National League side. You remember the shows where we had like Prince, Michael Jackson, or even more recent ones that kept it up, fun and accessible and broadly appealing to everyone. So, was Bad Bunny's show bold and historic, as some are claiming? Maybe in parts. But when it alienates a big portion of the audience, if you were one of those people that felt alienated, why is that hard for me to say today? Then you know what I'm talking about and you can even speak up. But the comments down below. I think it was more of a misfire than a win, to be honest with you. For the NFL, I was disappointed. Corporations and leagues should remember, this is important. Serve your core customers. Entertain broadly, unite people, prioritize that, and you'll avoid the backlash. You don't have to send a message out with every order of fries. And here's the thing, people. They didn't just complain, they actually did something about it. Do you know what I'm getting ready to mention next? That's right. Turning Point USA. There's a controversial word, shouldn't be. Conservative youth group that stepped up and put their own alternative event. It was called the All-American Halftime Show. Not this, just the Latin American halftime show. That's what we watched, isn't it? Hey, it was streamed live on YouTube at the same time as the official halftime. And main feature headlined by Kid Rock, right? With country artists, let's see, we had Brantley Gilbert. If I can learn to talk, we'll say it. Brantley Gilbert, Gabby Barrett, and Lee Brice. They built it as a celebration of faith, family, and freedom, and a classic American vibes. And it was. Did you watch that one? I watched that during the Super Bowl. I turned away from the NFL. And I enjoyed the music. Folks who wanted something that felt more familiar and unifying for the traditional NFL crowd, well, it was offered over there on tpusa.com. Now, Kid Rock closed it out with a moving cover of Cody Johnson's called Till You Can't. If you didn't see it, I'm not going to play it here, I don't think. I don't know, I might change my mind. No, we're not going to play it here. Just go see it. It's out there on the internet. It was a beautiful song. And they had their pyrotechnics and their big stage set up, and it ran about 30 minutes. If you haven't seen it, I know most of you have, I suggest you get over there and look at it. Okay, but it gave people an option if they felt sidelined by the main show that the NFL had decided to put out there. Now, was it perfect? I don't know if anything's ever perfect, but it was darn good, wasn't it? Some people said that they had technical issues and they were worried about, what was it? They were worried about some of it might have been pre-taped. What? You think they weren't lip syncing over there at the Super Bowl? If you don't think so, you don't know much about the Super Bowl's performances. Anyway, another day, another time. I think it was flawless from where I came from. The point is, though, millions of viewers tuned in anyway. Reports had peak concurrent viewers of around 20 million over there at the All-American show. That means 20 million turned away and went to TPUSA. And the YouTube and the total views climbed to, it's over 25 million now, and it's probably still climbing. Anyway, after the fact, right? That's a solid chunk of people who chose to tune in to TPUSA to see the All-American show. And I'm not here to bash one side or the other. I'm just saying that why did 25 million people slide on over here and watch something else? It's because it's what they wanted. It shows there was a real demand for an alternative show. I mean, bottom line. Spoke more directly to the core American fans. With English lyrics, believe it or not. Rock and country roots, straightforward. Patriots. It was beautiful, guys, I think. Here's the thing, too. Don't bring me out with this racist card. This has nothing to do with race. And this is what happens when the mainstream options feel more like their base customer. I bet nobody would have tuned away if Kid Rock would have been out there on that stage. Anyway, TPUSA, they proved that you don't need the NFL's budget or stage to connect. If you're hitting what your audience actually wants, it's the free market flip side to the branding mistakes that these other companies have cost them millions, billions really at the end. Okay, so Bud Light, Target, and those other cases, they ignored their core audience, tried to go into this DEI woke message, and I'm telling you, as a warning to other companies, tread lightly. Americans have proven time and time again, no matter how much you lie about it over there on your left-wing sides, your radical left, who don't know how to do anything but lie. If you listen to the truth, we all tuned away because it's what real Americans wanted. They wanted a real American halftime show. So, NFL Corporation or these alternative events, the lesson stands. Know your audience, respect what they came to the event for, and give them entertainment that brings the people together instead of dividing them even more. And when you push that DEI, that's really what you end up doing. Instead of inclusion and you end up separating more people. And we'll get into that more, guys. You that know me, I'm the Dragon. This is my lair. I had an old channel, and I'm back. And this is actually going to be episode 1 of the Being Back. So let me know what you think. Did you check out the All-American Halftime Show, or did you stick over there on the official one with the bad or worse bunny? Was it a step forward or another example of missing the mark? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear about it. I'm hoping I can grow this channel back up where we once were. Anyway, let me know in those comments if you'd watch something like that again, or if the NFL should take notes for next year. Hey, if this breakdown hit home with you, drop me a like or subscribe for more real talk on these cultural moments. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of politics involved. You may know we're going to lean a little to the right, but it doesn't mean we won't keep ourselves in check. Thanks for watching. Stay true, America. Catch you next time. I'm the Dragon. In my lair. Goodbye.